A lot of news came down over the weekend, and I will try my best to go through all of it. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
It's a me,
Dario!
Woohoo! Let's go!
Okay, so I have some kind of good news, bad news situation going on here in my studio. First off, for those of you who will watch this on video, because I will do this one. I will post this one, but probably tomorrow. For those of you who will watch the video, you'll notice that my studio is all white. It's freaky. They started painting my studio, and it smells like paint, and it's all white, and it's horrible, and I hate it. It's also really bright. I don't know. I don't like it. It's weird. It looks really weird. I don't know. It used to be dark, and it used to be nice. Now it's just all weird. It's too bright. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of working in just all white walls, and they're telling me that I can't really put anything on them. So, also they took down all the sound stuff. So hopefully I'll get those back soon, because I'm not liking this. This is a hostile work environment. Anyway, also I finally got video editing software installed on my computer. So I was okay, great. I will finally be able to do the video here before I leave work. And so they told me about this yesterday through email. I was really excited. I came here. The software's not opening. Now, I don't know why. I don't know why they don't just allow me to download. I mean, I get it. I can download it. I just can't install it. I need an engineer to come here and authorize it. But I don't get why they don't just let me do it. They already approved the software. They just downloaded it wrong. Or there's something wrong. There's a reason it won't open. I just want to do a video, man. I want to be able to do everything at the same spot. I don't have to go home and finish it. But what can you do? What can you do? So, yeah, I decided this one, I'm loading it. I don't care. I'm loading this one for sure, and then I'll retroactively do the Game of Thrones ones, because I know that's the one they want. I know that people don't really care about seeing my face that much. They want to see the Game of Thrones ones. So those will come down retroactively. I will go back and finish those. The problem with those is that I have to finish the first one, and then I keep going forward. But as I keep doing them, they're over an hour long. I go a little bit too deep, and I keep messing myself up there. But they will be up, and this one I'm gonna keep it short and sweet, because I'm gonna be going to see the new Spider-Man movie today. I'm really excited about that. I wanna see Spider-Man Far From Home, the screenings today, so I gotta get out of here pretty soon. We also have a big event. Eddie has a party. It's the Fleet Science Center. It's supposed to be Possum Play thing, so there's gonna be video games around. So I want to check it out. So it's a busy day for me. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a busy day, and I got to get out of here quick. So, quick reminder for those of you who are, just a quick reminder. If you want to listen to the podcast, you can find it in the iHeartRadio app. Just type in the show % Super Dario World, or you can find it in the Rock 1053 page, rock1053.com. Click on the podcast tab. You'll find it right there. Or you can find it on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. It will be loaded later, but it will be loaded there eventually. As Super Dario World Podcast. And you can always find me on social media at Dario the Show on Instagram. Easiest way for you to contact me with any comments, questions, or suggestions. I love interacting with people there, because people always send me stuff that I don't notice, because I talk a lot. And one of the issues that I have is that sometimes this is a Michael Scott thing. Sometimes I start a sentence and I'm not really sure how it's going to end. So I kind of just hope I find something that makes sense along the way. Like that sentence right there. I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to finish it, but I did. Yeah, you find your way along the way, and that's how I sometimes go off on tangents, because I get a new idea while I'm in the middle of the sentence, and I diverge and I lose it a little. So that's one of the issues that I've always had. So I love it when people sometimes send me messages like, "Dude, you did not finish this," or like, "Dude, what does this make a little bit of sense? You need to explain more." And so to me, it's like, oh, that's right. You guys don't read my mind. So it's always better. It keeps me a little bit more grounded. And I like the interaction. It's fun. It's always been fun for me. I've always had, the show's always had some really cool, we have like the best P1s. They're really nice people. We have one or two who are a-holes, but I think they've slowly just disappeared. I don't get as many harassing phone calls as I used to, and I don't miss them. I mean, sometimes it's like you get there. If I could tell you some of the things that some of the people have called and told me, it's It's not nice. There's some pretty let's say damaged people in the world, so they have issues. But anyway, okay, let's get started. Okay, so I'm gonna go through these very quickly because, like I said, I'm gonna be leaving here kind of soon. But all right, first off on the docket, I saw the trailer for the Paul Thomas Anderson and Tom York collaboration. It's a short film. It's not exactly a short film, but it's a short film. They're trying to call it a one-reeler, which is what they used to call short films. Anyway, so they did collaboration, so it's like a short film / music video. For those of you who don't know, Paul Thomas Anderson, he directed Boogie Nights, There Will Be Blood. He's one of my favorite directors of all time. The dude's very unique. He's not a big action guy, but he does really good drama. And Tom York from Radiohead is the writer, lead singer of Radiohead. Now, I have a lot of issues with Tom York. This is an argument that I've always had with my kid brother. I have issues with how annoying I find the guy's voice. A little. It grows on you. The problem is that they have really good songs and they're really catchy, and I enjoy their music. I just sometimes have an issue with his voice. Now, my kid brother, he sings, he plays music. He's actually pretty good. And when he sings Radiohead songs, I really like him. But when Tom York does it, it kind of annoys me a little. I don't know why. But now, after hearing the point is the dude's grown on me a little, but I still find him a little annoying. And the project seems interesting just because those are two really, really talented people. It's called Anima, and it will be streaming on Netflix on June 27th. So that's tomorrow. So I highly recommend that. Or I'm gonna check it out. At least it's supposed to be like 12 minutes. So it seems pretty cool. I'll check it out. Maybe it's like a miniature, Radiohead's own miniature The Wall or something. I don't know. Should be interesting. Moving on, producer Kevin Feige, who's produced a bunch of Marvel movies, and I mean a bunch, from Black Panther, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers, the X-Men, Spider-Man. So he's a big-time producer in Hollywood. He announced that there is likely to be a Venom Spider-Man mashup, but it all depends on Sony. So there's been a lot of speculation of what's going to happen in the Marvel Universe post-Endgame and post Disney purchasing... what is it? They purchased 20th Century Fox. So there's a lot of speculation on what could happen. And I'll just let him say it. Here's the quote from Kevin Feige. I think probably it's up to Sony. Sony has both those characters and has Venom in their world. I don't know what plans are for Venom or if they're doing that, but it seems likely at some point. So he thinks it's going to happen. It depends on Sony, depending how much money they want to make. Now, I have a lot of issues. They've also confirmed that Tom Hardy will be returning for the next Venom. I don't know how I feel about that. I did not like the first Venom movie. I didn't. I hated it. As soon as the movie started, I loathed it entirely. Every single person who asks me, what do you think of the movie? Because I got to see it before a lot of people, because I have a press pass and I get invited to that stuff. Everybody asks, okay, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? My answer to every single one of those questions was, the movie takes place in San Francisco. And everybody would just go, because we know what that means. It's Venom is supposed to be linked to Spider-Man. Spider-Man is in New York. So that means that there's no chance of a crossover with Spider-Man if he stays in San Francisco. Also, it made everything stupid. The movie was completely stupid. There's a giant plot hole in the middle that makes no fucking sense. Now, I saw this movie once, and it was over a year ago, but let me see if I can remember what the bad guy's name was. I'll just check it out real quick. But the big issue I had with the movie is that when they land somewhere in Asia, right? The aliens land in Asia. Oh, by the way, spoiler alert. That was not a spoiler. If you see it's in the first 30 seconds of the movie that they land in Asia. Anyway, so if you watch the movie, the villain, he gets they land in Asia somewhere, and then he just starts walking to civilization. So he takes over a human's body and he starts walking, presumably to San Francisco, right? Because that's where he wants to go in the end. However, in the movie, there's a time jump, which means that the villain and also the villain, he kind of just switches to another body, and then he switches to a little girl, and then the little girl boards a plane, and then he reaches America. That's how he gets out of Asia. And it takes him over a year to do this. I don't know. There's a time jump there in the middle. I think it's maybe more than 1 year, but I believe it's a year. And so it takes him, Riot, that was the guy's name. That was the villain's name, Riot. So it takes Riot over a year to walk to the closest town and then walk to the nearest airport and then fly to America. What? Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, maybe it's because it took him time to really understand how the human world or something worked. But we saw via Venom that once the symbiote takes over a human body, they get their memories, all that stuff. So they immediately understand how things work, or at least how the human understands things work. So it was stupid. It was a gigantic plot hole and make no sense. So I couldn't let that go. I couldn't let it go. And there's also a whole bunch of other dumb stuff. But the San Francisco thing is, I was immediately out. Point is, I didn't like the movie. Okay? Long story short, I didn't like the movie. Anyway, moving on. I saw the trailer for the new Shia LaBeouf movie called The Peanut Butter Falcon. It actually looks kind of funny. Shia LaBeouf is an interesting dude. He is batshit crazy. All right? He is batshit crazy. He's insane. He's a crazy guy, but he's a lot of fun to watch on screen. He's actually a pretty decent actor. I remember I watched him on Fury. He was really good in Fury. He was also, I watched him all the way back to, what was it, Even Stevens. So I like the guy. I liked him in Transformers. He's a likable dude on screen. In his real life, he's batshit crazy. Anyway, the trailer for this movie, it's about, how can I say without spoiling it? It's about a kid with Down syndrome who's trying to run away and become a wrestler. And Shia LaBeouf's character kind of runs into him and decides, you know what? I'm gonna help you out. So he also has his own issues. So the movie looks pretty interesting. Looks pretty good. The release date is August 9th. So I'm gonna check it out. It looks, like I said, it looks pretty funny. And I don't know. I like Shia LaBeouf on screen. Everything else, peace out, dude. I also found it funny because the things that he's done off screen are also kind of funny. The whole thing that he will not divide us and he will not build a wall or something, and then he sets up a camera for people to go show off their stuff, and then he builds a wall around that. I love it. It's so stupid. Oh my god, he did a whole bunch of stuff that's just ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous, but I don't know. I find it funny. I love it when people are so crazily passionate about something they don't understand. And how's the phrase go? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. It happens a lot to him, so it's really enjoyable to see. Now the cast. Moving on, the producers of Riverdale have announced that. For those of you who don't know, Riverdale is a TV show based on the Archie comics, and it airs on the CW. It might have been their biggest show up till now. I don't think so. I think The Flash is slightly bigger. Anyway, but the Luke Perry from 90210, who recently passed, he played the father of the main character. And so Riverdale has announced that, well, they need to deal with the actor's death on it. And they said that the first episode of the next season will be a tribute to Luke Perry. Now, speaking of Riverdale for a second, I will have to finish watching season 3. I love season 1. Season 2 is fantastic. It's great. It's among the best seasons of any TV show I've ever seen. Well, teen drama. I'll clarify, a teen drama. Season 2, it's kind of meh. It went way off its roots. They didn't get what made season 1 great, and they kind of just went off the rails a little. Season 3 was kind of weird. I was watching it with my sister, and we both kind of felt the same way. There's 2 big storylines. One is really interesting, kind of in the roots of season 1. It's kind of like a murder mystery type of deal. It's really creepy, really eerie, and it gets you. The other one makes no fucking sense at all. I have no idea what they're doing. We kept trying to debate it. Like, do you think they're just 2 different writers and they don't talk to each other? And one is like, well, I like these characters and I'm going to write a story for them. Like, oh yeah, well, I'm going to write these characters and I'm going to get a story for them. And they're like, all right, we'll just keep doing the same. I don't know. It made no sense. But I will have to finish it because, as I mentioned in an early episode, I will be doing Comic-Con again this year. And my friend who was with me on Monday, Derek Santi, he basically said, yeah, you're getting Riverdale this year. That for sure you're getting Riverdale. I think you're the only guy that I know who watches it, and I'm like, yes, I'm getting Riverdale. So I'm excited for that, and I'm gonna keep watching it, and I want to see how they handle the Luke Perry thing, because it's hard. Imagine all of a sudden a character that you're writing dies. So there's a lot of ways of handling that. Some people replace him and pretend like, oh yeah, nobody's gonna notice, or some people actually acknowledge it in the show that, oh yeah, he died, or I don't know. I want to see what they do. So the point is they confirmed that they're not gonna just gloss over it. It will be something that they will acknowledge directly. And let me see, when does the next episode of Riverdale come out? It doesn't say. Well, it will come out in the fall, probably, because summer there's nothing, and then there's the fall. Anyway, also on really funny, completely unrelated news, the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 director, James Gunn, I talked about this before. James Gunn will be the director of Guardians of the Galaxy once again, Volume 3. He's coming back, but he confirmed that Volume 3 will not be titled as Guardians of the Galaxy. He had to put it out there. There's a lot of people who wanted it to be called as Guardians of the Galaxy, but no, because Thor, spoiler alert, Thor is not going to be a part of them. So I don't know how I feel about this one. I think it could have been a great joke, but I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's just, I don't know. I love the fact that Thor's with the Guardians of the Galaxy. In Infinity Wars, that was my favorite part of the whole Infinity Wars. Thor with the Guardians of the Galaxy. It was comedy gold. Thank God they're taking advantage of this opportunity. It might be their biggest title yet, and I'm not kidding. I think if done properly, that might be their best movie in the whole MCU. It might be it might be the funniest thing we've ever seen. I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful. I know that I'm a little bit too hyped for it, but I don't care. You gotta be positive, right? Anyway, director J.J. Abrams and his son Henry Abrams have announced that they will be writing a limited series Spider-Man comic. So they made a little announcement video. It was okay. It was a little weird. But by the way, J.J. Abrams, he's directing the next Star Wars movie, The Rise of Skywalker, which will be out later this year. And he directed the original, the new movie for this, the first movie of this new trilogy, The Force Awakens. He's also famous for directing a whole bunch of other stuff. He created the TV show Westworld. He created Lost. He's done a whole bunch of stuff. He also directed the new Star Trek movies. Anyway, so apparently he's writing Spider-Man now, which I think is kind of cool. I mean, the dude's a big nerd. He's always been a big nerd, and he kind of likes giving his own spin to things. Now, the fact that this is a limited series is what I really like, because the problem with J.J. Abrams is that he rarely gets to finish stuff. So if from the beginning they say this is gonna be a limited run, a limited series, he's gonna get full control of it, and he's gonna be able to wrap it up. Cool, great, fantastic. I want to see what he does with it. So also Spider-Man's great. I love Spider-Man. He's one of the greatest superheroes. He might be the best superhero in the Marvel universe. Well, he's definitely the crown jewel of the Marvel universe because he fits in everywhere. He's probably the most beloved superhero. So I don't know. They're gonna introduce a new villain. So I don't know. It looks interesting. I will read it for sure. Let me see. What else? Okay, yeah, moving on. The trailer for Season 3 of Stranger Things dropped over the weekend as well. The release date is July 4th. The trailer looks really good. It looks really good. I only have I have a couple of issues with the series, but my main issue has always been, it's not necessarily the character, but I don't like psychics. They bug me because they're not fun to watch. All right, that a psychic battle is not fun to watch. I think I complained about this with the movie Dark Phoenix. They're not fun to watch on screen, and also they're kind of OP, and it's never been fun. It's very rare to find a psychic that's fun to watch. But the cast is really likable. The show looks like it's getting darker and darker, and the stakes are getting higher and higher. I also really liked the villain last season, the Red Ranger. I don't remember his name, but I really liked that character. He's kind of the bully. Well, he actually not kind of. He is the bully. So I like the whole cast. It's been an interesting series so far to watch, and so I'm excited for it. It comes out. I believe I already said it, but it doesn't matter. July 4th. Netflix has also released a trailer for the final season of Orange Is the New Black. Now, I've actually watched that show. It has its ups and downs, but the most interesting thing is that its lead has become its most boring character, and that's always a good sign for a show when your lead just sucks. They didn't know how to write her. She was extremely boring, and everybody else around her was very interesting. Anyway, the trailer kind of shows that they're going to make her a little bit more interesting. At least they're going to try. I don't know. I really didn't like Piper. But anyway, season 7 is set to launch on July 26th. And like I said, confirmed, final season. So we'll see what happens after that. I'm honestly glad it's over because it's been a drag. It has ups and downs. It has its moments, and then it has its moments where you're just like, ugh. But overall, I say it's been a good series. So I'm happy it's ending. I'm happy it's over. I'm happy I'll be free because once I start something, I have to finish it. So hopefully, it'll end in a high note. Anyway, moving on. It's been announced that The Office. There's a lot of Netflix news this week, and I just realized, but The Office will be leaving Netflix by the end of 2020 because NBC is starting its own streaming service, which will start on 2021. This is stupid. Very, very stupid. I hate that there's everybody and their mother has a streaming service. You know what? I'm going to start my own streaming service. Fuck it. You know what? Why not? Everybody else is doing it. Disney's getting their own thing. DC's getting their own thing. We already had Hulu. We already had Netflix. NBC's doing something. I'm guessing that everybody is going to be doing something pretty soon for their own thing, and it's just stupid. I guess it's going to be a revert. Let me see if I can guess how this is going to work. Now, I've speculated for a long time that Netflix is going to die off. I don't see Netflix surviving. Let me explain. The reason why is because Netflix is horribly in debt. And I mean horribly in debt. They make a lot of money, but they're what is it, like $14 billion in debt? And the point is they don't make as much to cover all the things that they're in debt for. Like, for example, for Friends. For Friends alone, they paid like $100 million to air Friends. And so now the reason why I don't think that they're sustainable is, let's say, compare it with YouTube. Now, YouTube has millions of people loading stuff on their site for free, right? They load it for free, so YouTube doesn't have to pay for their content. They had millions and millions of hours of free content, and it's just there, and people can stream it. And now, when they do want to create something, they have the money for it because they're getting money for free from other people, pretty much. Well, they're getting free hours of labor from other people, myself included, I guess. And so they make money off of that. And so when they want to produce something, they can do high quality stuff. Ergo Cobra Kai, which I haven't seen yet, but I've heard it's really good. But I don't want to subscribe to YouTube because I'm upset with them. Anyway, or compared to, let's say, Amazon. Amazon is also in debt, Amazon Prime, but they haven't really focused on releasing a ton of shows. They've released really high quality stuff. I think that Amazon Prime is going to end up winning this battle because they're making award-winning shows. Not everybody's watching them, but they're making award-winning stuff. And when you get Amazon Prime, you get also the services of Amazon Prime. So even if they're losing money making Jack Reacher, they're making money selling toilet paper. So one balances the other one out. Netflix only has Netflix. There's no other way for them to make money. And when they want content, they have to pay for it. So they have to pay $100 million for Friends. They have to pay... They have to pay Tom York and Paul Thomas Anderson for their movies. They have to pay every single comedian special they put up there. So they need to drastically, and also they're going to be losing stuff. They're going to be losing The Office. They're going to be losing all the Disney properties. They're going to be losing a lot. So that formula it's not sustainable. Also, they're losing their best shows. Like they lost Daredevil. They lost Jessica Jones. They're going to be losing the Orange is the New Black because it's over. So I don't know. I don't think. For the long haul, I don't think Netflix is going to make it unless they dramatically change their formula. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but yeah, I don't see it maintaining itself. And now, this is probably the funnest news that came down over the weekend. Actors Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad did a Twitter post. They both did the same thing. And they posted a picture of two donkeys, the faces of two donkeys, and the caption, "Soon." They both did it independently in their own Instagram. In their own Twitter. Same picture, same caption, "Soon." And so this drove everybody nuts because it's been confirmed that there's going to be a Breaking Bad movie coming out. However, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Bryan Cranston's character dies at the end. Oh, I'm sorry. Looks like he's going to die at the end of Breaking Bad. And I thought that was great. I thought the ending was perfect. If you break down the ending of Breaking Bad, down to the episode's name, it was perfect. The episode's name, by the way, is Felina, which is the name of a song. It's a country song, if I'm not mistaken, that talks about a guy who's kind of goes to get vengeance for them and ends up dying in the process. It's also Felina. It's, what is it? Fe is the chemical name for iron. Li is lithium. Na is sodium, if I'm not mistaken. So you got there's Fe is for iron, which is in the blood. Lithium is you need it to make meth. I think it's lithium. And Na sodium, it's salt, which is in tears. So it's also blood meth, and tears. Also, if you switch the letters around, it says finale. It was perfect. All the way down to the freaking name of the episode, it was perfect. A great way to end it. However, they did confirm earlier this year that they would be making a Breaking Bad movie, and it's supposedly going to continue the story of Jesse Pinkman. Jesse Pinkman is Aaron Paul's character, which is fine. I mean, Aaron Paul kind of runs away at the end, and so you assume that there's more to that story. Now, Jesse is not the best part of the show. The best part of the show was Walter White. So at least he was I'm going to say the majority of people's favorite part of the show was Walter White. And considering the careers that they've had after Breaking Bad, I think Bryan Cranston's done a little bit better than Aaron Paul. So, I mean, what was it? Did he get nominated for 1 Oscar or 2? Anyway, the point is, everybody prefers Bryan over Aaron easily. So what are they doing? Are they just messing with people? Is it going to be a flashback? Is Walter still alive? So people are going nuts over this freaking picture, and it could be nothing. Like, the best part is they could just be trolling. It could be just that he visited the set or something. I don't know. It's a lot of fun, but hopefully Walt, I don't know. Let me think about this for a second. How do I feel about it? Do I want Walter White to return, or was I was happy with the ending? No, stop it. Just leave it alone. Leave it alone. I don't need to know if Walter's alive or dead, because to that point his story was done. We don't need more. Just leave it alone. Okay? That's how I feel. I worked it out. That's how I feel about it. I think they should just leave it alone. It was well the way they did it, and that's fine. And okay, that's it. That's a big news for today. That's a big everything for today. It was kind of a slow one. No, not really any big things dropped, but I found that interesting. For tomorrow, like I said, I will be watching Spider-Man today. Hopefully, knock on wood, I will be watching Spider-Man today. So hopefully my computer situation will get fixed and I will be able to start doing video, or maybe I'll do it at home. I wasn't planning on going back home. I need to figure out how I do it. Anyway, so hopefully I'll have that figured out. This one will be loaded eventually. So YouTube, I will load this. I promise. Even though I don't like YouTube right now. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so I'll watch Spider-Man, so I'll tell you about that. And I also found there was a poll on what's the best Pixar movie. The results are kind of interesting, and I have a strong opinion on it. So, it depends. I guess it all depends on how good Spider-Man is. But I will probably get into that as well tomorrow. So that's it for today. As always, any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me on Instagram at Dario the Show. And that's it for today. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you again tomorrow.